Good evening, everybody. My name is Warden, and I will be your host for tonight's entertainment. Today, we've got quite a few plans lined up. First and foremost is replacing my dinky little, ring of protection with a proper runic shielding ring. There we go. And once we have finished that, I am also going to create a belt of shielding, because today is finally the day that I am going to go hit up that nether dungeon and collect all that juicy loot. Remember that dungeon? From all that time ago? Yeah, we're finally gonna go there. Now, of course, that's not the only thing I have planned for today. I have quite the base tour lined up because I have been busy. I may have been, absent, but I was not, just lazing around twiddling my thumbs, trust me. I think you'll be quite proud of all the things I have accomplished while you guys weren't looking. First thing you will notice is that I have finished furnishing down here. Or at the very least, I've finished putting up the walls and the decorations. I've set up a proper automatic furnace input for the infernal furnace, which has served me quite well. I'll show you how it works in just a minute. I have added more nodes to my node room, though it is still not quite full, and this glass was originally going to have things behind it, but optifying causes some conflicts with the way chisel blocks are rendered. So when I put some void stone behind this glass, it immediately either turned invisible or displayed the wrong texture. Now, the furnace input system is a very simple item elevator connected by a long string of hoppers. Not ideal. I would usually use a minecart for this, but there isn't enough room for a proper minecart track. So these hoppers are attached to that input chest. They feed into this chest, which feeds into this dropper, this bottommost dropper right here. When there's something in the dropper, this comparator reads and outputs a redstone signal, which in two parts will flick the redstone signal, activating the droppers and setting the items upwards, and lock this hopper to make sure that only one item is in this dropper at a time, as observers don't exist yet, so creating a flickering redstone signal is a little bit difficult. It goes into this chest, which feeds into these hoppers, which feeds into pretty much the exact same setup, except a little bit messier. And comparator reads in the dropper, locks this hopper, flicks the signal, shit gets sent down into the furnace, it cooks. This method of automatically feeding my furnace does mean I have to turn off my coin of fortune whenever I have the furnace on, as it will yoink items up and out of the furnace. But, all in all, it's a very excellent system. This redstone design is by Nathan Sandbox on YouTube. I managed to find the original creator of this design, thank God. You saw down there my infusion setup, obviously, is now more or less complete, very nicely put together. And down here, we do have more and more skulls being built up and adding to the stability of this infusion altar. I have moved some cows in here for the production of Sano. Don't worry, they're fine. They're fine. And speaking of the production of Sano for ethereal blooms, I have been expanding the untainted lands, as you can see in this direction. And the area is not insignificant. Every so often, I move the chunk loaders, I move the blooms, and ever so slowly I am inching my way towards spawn. It'll only be a matter of time before we have fully encapsulated this entire island. After that, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll build a wall and line it with pier nodes and leave it there, and then with the ethereal blooms, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll start using them on more pet projects around the world than just expanding my territory. I have also built this little Ars Magica island, moving all of the stuff over that I previously had here onto this island. Hollow, of course, as is traditional for building downwards. And, most importantly, I have completed the biggest project that I have done so far on this world. I have finished work on the boulder. Now, it's quite unsightly right now, as it is untextured. I haven't finished putting dirt on it, as I have actually run out of dirt. The interior is more or less still completely hollow and empty. But all in all, this was a very fun build to put together. Extreme organic shapes like this are not my forte. I definitely pushed myself a little bit to the limit with this design. And even so, there's still a lot of work I could do to make this look better and create a more organic shape. However, I have started decorating the top a little bit. I've put this tiny little lake here to give it a bit more naturalized feel. On the interior here, I think this bottommost area is going to be a little public park. Somewhere where the villagers can experience nature, look at trees, listen to water. Maybe I'll release a couple of wild wolves, name tag them so that they don't despawn, so that there's even a couple of friendly wildlife around. And I think the housing units are probably going to go along this line. So it's sort of a boardwalk city. We'll have to put up railings so that the kids and the irresponsible adults don't fall off. You'll see down here I have moved the hydroponic system to a far better location, and I have been decorating this island and giving it a much more droopy, organic, clumpy feeling, mostly using carpenter's blocks. And, if you remember early on in the series, I started working on a nether portal design. Well, that is finally finished down here. The block gradient is a little bit rough, but I think I managed to convey it properly from going dark to light. And over here is where I moved my smooth stone generator to get smooth stone for building stuff. When I don't have the ring on, everything goes down here. And this was all done using extensive amounts of carpenter's blocks and buttons, pressure plates, and liberal usage of the hammer to create these stalactites, and hidden light sources in the form of glowstone infused carpenter's blocks. I've been terraforming this little hill to better integrate the cave that this is a part of as well. And I'm hoping that eventually this whole island will be terraformed in this style. The farming setup is down here. I have been relentlessly breeding these plants, so an overwhelming majority of these are all 10-10-10 crops, with a couple of exceptions. The rice is not yet 10-10-10, and the garlic is not yet 10-10-10. And once these are all fully 10-10-10, I am going to expand this upwards as well, make it a tiered farm. Going over to the border of my territory here, you can see the ethereal blooms hard at work scrubbing the taint from the area. My zombie grinder is more or less taint-free now, so that I can make use of it without having to worry about dying of taint corruption. And I have added credit to this mob dropper design, Lasheen on YouTube. However, I do have a small confession to make. Remember how I said a little while ago that the storm would eventually be the death of me? Yeah, I died. And, checking statistics, you'll see that I've actually died 3 times. Funny story behind those other 2 deaths, actually. I was, walking around, inside my smooth stone generator, working on it, testing it out, seeing if there's anything I could do to improve the occasional issue of the lava sometimes outpacing the water and forming cobblestone, and I hear angry piglin noises behind me. I turn around and there's a zombie piglin charging at me, kills me in 3 hits against the wall, and what's worse is that this thing was immortal. I could not actually defend myself. I attacked it back to defend myself, and it was literally immortal. I could not hit it. There was some type of glitch in the way the mob was being like its position was being rendered or something, because I could not hit it. I went back, managed to get my stuff, it kills me again. And same issue, it's completely immortal. I eventually solved the issue by re-logging, and that removed its immortality. And I kept my distance and killed it with some of the splash potions of healing that I happen to have so many of. But yeah, I think I'm well within my right to say that those other two deaths don't count. Like, being killed in the zombie grinder, absolutely my fault. I lost track of what was behind me, I walked backwards into a zombie and it slapped the shit out of me, and it was one of those special zombies, so I died really fast. But that pigman, like, that was so not fair. Immortal, unkillable zombie pigman beating the shit out of me and spawn camping my shit? No way. No way does that count. Like, come on, there's no way that has to count, right? Either way, I've gone quite some time without dying, in my opinion. I believe, oh, I don't even want to think about it. I've been on this world a long time, and that was really the only time I actually legitimately died. I haven't gone on any new rescue missions since the last time. I figured that, I've, rescued as many people as I can afford to support right now, and I don't want to stress out myself, the villagers, or the resources that they're going to consume in their efforts to make a new life for themselves inside the boulder, as trying to save everybody quite literally will make things worse. Overcrowding is a real thing, people. People like their space, and when they don't get it, bad things can start to happen. So regarding what I said earlier about raiding that dungeon, well, what do you think the necessary steps for that would be? Well, the most important thing about doing anything super dangerous like raiding a large dungeon like that in a world where powerful mobs can one-shot you, one of the most important things you can do is be adequately prepared. What's the phrase? Measure twice, cut once? I feel like that's a decent philosophy to operate under, and that's why the first thing we're going to be doing is making better food, because baked potatoes are not, well, they're not sufficient. They are not, very filling in the slightest. Alright, that's all the cooking tools. Now let's see what we can create with our materials. Maybe cheeseburgers, because if we make a hamburger and then make cheese... Oh, we could have a bake a cheeseburger even. And then when we get to mushrooms, we can even make a bacon mushroom cheeseburger. I love mushrooms. I actually do have some mushrooms, so I could actually start breeding these up really nicely. Thank God you don't have to make this into dough and then bake it, because I think I'd explode. Let's get the cheese ready. One thing I will say about this dropper setup I have is that it's pretty noisy. Maybe there's something in the mods that I can use that will quietly move things up and down. I have heard of certain plants from Botania being able to teleport stuff around. I just always feel much more comfortable just using vanilla redstone. It's reliable and doesn't do any silly things and never requires any external power. Alright, hamburger created. Then we put cheese on the burger. And now we have a beeschurger. And I just need to add another lump of hard tofu to it. And I can make this into a bacon beeschurger. It'll be nice to not eat potatoes for a little while, though I will probably inevitably have to return to the potato. Put this. There we go. Bacon beeschurger. Oh no, I forgot to scan this shit before I started upcrafting it. Oh well. Do I have enough mushrooms to convert these into mushroom bacon beeschurgers? I do not. And I do like me nice clean full stacks. But maybe I can convert half of them into mushroom bacon beeschurgers. There. The only difference between the two of them is slightly more saturation and a full 5 hocks of meat instead of 4.5 hocks of meat. So, now that we have gotten our food, what is the next step? Well, gearing up, which includes putting on this set of clothing that I haven't worn for quite some time. Whoops. Admittedly, it's a little bit clunky. I would like to be able to update this to maybe void metal or something of the sort. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I did, that hallucination I had or whatever earlier did allow me to, get the path to void metal open, but I haven't put the time towards researching that stuff just yet. Oh, before I go, I should probably charge up this backup V-stone, you know, just to be prepared. Okily dokily. So, hitting up that big fucking nether dungeon is going to be very dangerous. It would not be unreasonable to assume I die, which would be very unpleasant. Judging from the 3 times I've died already, there is shit on the veil between life and death that I'm not too keen on tussling with. For some reason, the pigmen are angry with me. I'm just going to ignore them. Now, where is it? Yes, this is the staircase that I used to get down. Whew, it's intimidating even when you're coming here fully kitted up. Let's light this shit up before we're within range of the spawners activating, how about? What a great first spell for Ars Magica to have, honestly. Like a long-range light source, you're just like, oh yeah, that's not going to be that useful. And then you actually pull the thing out and you're just like, whoa, what the fuck? This makes every dungeon a cakewalk. Now, does Silk Touch pick up spawners in this pack? No, it doesn't. That's okay, it was just cave spiders. Those are a pain in the ass to make grinders for anyways. Ooh, another spare coin of fortune. That'll be nice to have in case anything happens to this one. Light this up. Yeah, as long as I stay on top of lighting shit up, this shouldn't be an issue. Let's break the chests actually after us, so that I don't get excited and be like, ooh, chests, and then realize, oh no, I've already looted this one, you know? Let's not sabotage ourselves any more than we need to. I didn't expect this to be like a guns blazing, more of a keep track of whatever the fuck you're doing and you'll be fine type bit. But still, it's shocking how easy this place is. I'm gonna put all my loot in in the chests that I pick up over here, so that I can come back and get the stuff together whenever I need to. In defense of this dungeon, I don't really think you're meant to come here and spam light sources everywhere. I'm pretty sure that's not the intended progression level. Ooh, infinity orb. Look, I need the blue skill points really badly. I'm locked out of so many trees right now because I didn't go all the way down certain paths. Honestly, one of the main reasons I wanted to get this dungeon is because there are wither skeleton spawners. And you know, I would love to fight me some withers, get me some beacons. That'd be great. Engage and fuck yourself. I sure hope these mage lights don't cause colossal amounts of lag. That would suck. Now, I'm gonna head back, dump my gear, come back to this place, and I'll come back to y'all in case anything super interesting happens, how about? In the meantime, why don't you check out this nice little time-lapse I made of me building the boulder? Enjoy, everybody. What the? Why you hit me? What is this, some type of entrapment scheme? What are you, a fucking cop here to provoke me into hitting you so you can tell all your friends? Come over here where there's less of your buddies around. Yeah, it is some fucking entrapment scheme. Good to fucking know. Ugh, I hate it here. Touchstone of Midas? What does that do, I wonder? Hopefully it's not cursed or nothing. I've heard about the curse of Midas. Not pretty. Let's build up this crummy little base of operations so that it's a little bit harder for mobs to get in. How about? So we'll put a little roof on top of it and stuff. Hey, where'd my axe go? Hold up. You saw that right. It duplicated my spellbook and ate my axe? Hello? That's a problem, because that's my main melee weapon. I mean, I guess I'll use the sword. It's not my preferred weapon. I do not have time for you. You saw that right? I was scrolling through to go get my axe, and it just vanished and duped my spellbook. What the fuck? I do not have time for you. I am trying to figure out what the ever-loving fuck just happened. God, that sucks too, because now I'm gonna have to break these chests by hand. I mean, it's not like the axe is gonna be hard to replace. It's just an axe that was enchanted with the osmotic enchanter, like an axe of the stream. Like, it's not gonna be hard to replace. But like, that sucks. Not a huge fan of that, let's be real. What is this? Temple Color is an Eye of Ender infused with Dragon Essence. It can rarely be found in overworld dungeons, strongholds, and dungeon towers. Before using the Temple Color, it has to be filled with energy. Using it in the end with Dragon Egg in the inventory teleports the player to a temple. In the temple, there is a dark pedestal for the Dragon Egg. When the egg is placed, it will use its power to destroy the end. Huh? What? Destroy the end? What? Am I supposed to do that? Like, is that the end goal of the pack? Like, am I supposed to... Huh? Just... Why would I destroy the end? Is there something in the end that I should be worried about? Destroy the end? Like, what does that entail? Like, those temple collars went from like, oh, I guess that must be a special eye ender to, I guess a nuclear bomb that I just keep around now. I am going to have to do more research, if any exists on this. Do worlds survive when the end is destroyed? Like, that's another thing I'd like to know. Like, will all this hard work I've been putting into this world, restoring it and fixing it up and cleaning it up, be worthless? Like, will destroying the end, like, make the fucking planet explode? Jesus Christ. I'm gonna have to do more research. Like, I can't sit here and just freak out about it. I gotta, like, go scrounging around for, like, tomes and shit. See if I can find anything that tells me, hey, why should I destroy the end? And, like, no, the answer, like, replying with why not is not a valid answer. I have no interest in just fucking destroying a dimension for no fucking good reason. Plus, I'm pretty sure the boss would beat my ass to death if I did stupid shit like that. Ooh, Nelly, this is a lot of stuff. So this is just from my initial reading. But damn, that's a lot of crap. Alright, I'm gonna scoop up what loot I can carry, that I'm willing, the stuff that's immediately useful to me, and probably head on out for the day on this dungeon. That dungeon was simultaneously easier than I thought and harder than I thought. All in the opposite directions of that which I predicted, which I guess is a given. So, what have we learned? We've learned that we could blow up the fucking end, I guess. Why anybody would want to do that is beyond me. I'd like to think that I still had fun, though. Raiding a dungeon is a rare treat. I'm a pretty big homebody. But I still had fun, you know, I got outside, I got some exercise, I fought some mobs. Terrifying realization aside, that was an alright trip, I think. And rather lucrative. I'll be emptying out that dungeon for quite some time, though I will be having to replace my axe, I guess. Nice to have a backup of my spellbook, though, I guess? Now, unfortunately, I think I am all out of time for today. So, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, why not like, subscribe, share it with your friends, leave a comment if you want. And, next episode we will be furnishing out the boulder, getting it ready for the villagers to live in, all that fun stuff. Until then, my name is Warden, and I am signing off for tonight. Have a good evening, everybody.